What is up, guys? We are the Hardcore Casuals. You're all killer, no filler wrestling analysis. Back at it with another video here, and we want to talk about the potential for WWE Raw's about to go TV-14. So apparently it leaked out that they were going to go TV-14. They were going to go back to being TV-14, and PG Era was going to be done. And then the next day, there was another report saying, "Hold up, not yet. It was supposed to be this coming Monday, and now it is not." I don't know if it's on the table for this to be a thing, but they haven't officially pulled the trigger. I don't know if they're waiting to, when they decide to change Raw to TV-14, if they're going to change the look up, change the vibe, change the whole thing, and kind of just run with a new attitude or new look with the whole thing. But WWE desperately needs that. I think with NXT being gone, the black and gold NXT, they've lost a lot of the hardcore fan base, at least with that. NXT 2.0 has kind of finally become their breeding ground to try to create stars to a degree, but they're obviously, we don't have the grittiness of the hardcore fan would want, I guess. I haven't watched any of NXT 2.0, to be honest. I'll catch up if I hear about a good match. I'll click on there, but otherwise I don't watch it. And I think SmackDown is kind of set in its ways. It's formulaic. It it does what it needs to do for Fox, and they get their guys in there, and it's just it feels very robotic. So it kind of leaves Raw on an island a little bit, where it's like we could potentially kind of do more like AEW, kind of be a little more violent, kind of be a little more sensual over here, and do some more kind of outrageous storylines and stuff like that. We have the ability to do that, and USA is going to allow us to do it. Then we could just do it, and I think that it's a great idea because it obviously it would draw me in more, because I'm tired of the childish storylines. I'm tired of watching 7 people chase each other through the fucking arena, trying to pin each other for a green belt that looks like it was fucking made by a 10-year-old. Like, I don't care about any of that. There are several characters in the show that look like stars, but the storylines are so just generically boring, and they're just there's no edginess to any of them. There's some edginess to some characters, but I never felt like the Judgment Day. It never felt like really dark. You know what I mean? It came
actually
off,
like imposing.
Yeah, it came off more cartoonish.
Yeah.
Than otherwise. When you look at the fucking what are the guys, the Knights of the Black Throne or whatever?
Oh, House of Black.
House of Black. Yeah, you look at those guys. Whether or not you like them or not, they come off like a satanic cult. Like they go there with it, which, I mean, WWE has sponsors and stuff, so it's kind of hard to get away with stuff. But WWE going TV-14 is a smart decision, because I feel like the hardcore wrestling fan still wants to watch Monday Night Raw. It is it was the premier wrestling program for the last 20 years. It's before there was DVR, it was like, I was running around with friends, and when I was a teenager, I'd be out. They'd want to go stay out and play kickball or basketball, and it'd be rolling around to 8 o'clock. And I'd be like, deuces, I got to go home and watch Raw. Like I can't stay out here. Like, I don't have DVR. I don't have a way to record this. I got to go fucking home and watch it live. So, it was can't miss. And nowadays I can record it, or I can watch it online for free, or whatever it is, or I can watch the highlights on YouTube, or the Tuesday I can watch it on Hulu. Like, I don't have to just watch it live anymore, which is unfortunate. It's kind of killed a lot of television, but I think part of that is there just was no edginess. There was no
reason to want to watch it live.
Yeah, to draw me in. So do you think if they go TV-14 that will really make a difference? Do you think it'll draw you back in and draw in some more fans, maybe some of the AEW fans?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, like you said, I'm fucking all for it. I mean, but at the same time, it's like there comes a there comes a responsibility to still deliver. I mean, you still have to fucking deliver with material. Like we were saying, like with these guys, they're going out there and the storylines are just so childish and they're just so cringy. It just devalues the talent that are involved in these just fucking terrible ass fucking angles and storylines that they're involved in. And a lot of them are few and far between because there's a lot of just not creative and there's just no storylines. They're just fucking out there just, it's either you have a cringy ass storyline that nobody believes or you have competitive matches that nobody believes. So it's like you're serving literally no purpose there and it's doing no good at all. So, it is a piece that is put into place that gives them infinitely more potential is all I can say. Because it just opens more doors. It gives you more options. It lets you do more things. It lets you be more free. It just gives you more potential. Like there's just so much more you can do. You can do more violent things. You can do more risque things. You can do more things with sex and all this different shit. Like it just opens the door. So like, when you go watch a PG-13 movie, it's not as cool as if you go watch a fucking rated R movie, So it's like, there's just more to it. Like there's an edge to it. There's, this aura of unpredictability. So I mean, there's so much that they can do with it. It's just a responsibility that if they go through with doing that, if they pull the trigger on that, then make it seem that way. Like change up the look, change up the feel, get a new presentation or a new entrance or whatever, like anything. Like just, you have to like go full bore with it. And you really just got to just completely scrap all the shit that you were doing for the last 15 years in the PG era and start anew and say, hey, we're fucking back. Like, we have an edge to us again. Like, we're going to bring these fucking, 18 to 34 people back in there. And it's not, little Timmy and Jimmy, fucking 8-year-olds aren't buying the pay-per-views. Mommy and daddy are. And if mommy and daddy are more interested in watching what the fuck they're doing, then that creates more people because it opens more doors. And I know that society and everything is nowhere near what, it used to be when we were kids. I feel sorry for kids nowadays because of just, the culture that we grew up in was just a lot more fun and it was a lot more fucking, less, fucking pussy. But it's so much more. It just gives so much more potential. And if you put that in place, I just don't see how it couldn't, at least offer hope for good things to come.
And it's funny too, because it's like, okay, that demographic when did they go PG? I don't even remember.
So I think
2012.
Actually it was like 2008. And I think it was around the time where Linda did the stuff where she was like running for office and shit. So I think it's been because somebody put up a timeline, and I want to say it was like mid 2008 or some shit like that, because I remember they stopped doing blood around that time too. That was like a big thing that they stopped too. So it's been almost like 14, 15 years now.
So let's say you're, 2008, let's say you're 5, 6, 7 at that time. Now it's 2022. You're a teenager. You're
right.
Well, I don't know how old you'd be, 18, 17, 18, 20, I don't know, somewhere in that range.
No, yeah, you'd be if you're fucking, how old did you say? 6 years or whatever, you'd be damn near 20 years old, so.
So it's like, at that point, it being 20, it's like, you want to see edgier shit. Like, at 20 years old, I could say from the time I was 15 or 14 or 15 until the time I was in my early 20s, I wanted to see all the wild car crash craziness, but, obviously we saw the stuff from the Attitude Era when we were 8, 9, 10 or whatever it is, but, we still wanted to see cool, edgy, crazy things. So, like, at the time that, that's your demographic, if you were trying to target kids in, 2008, those kids are now 20. So it's like,
right.
Okay, let's do some different shit. If we want to keep that audience or bring back that audience, or from young people, we need to do something here, because it's not all about just little kids. I'll tell you right now, I don't know a lot of little kids, but most little kids that I know, they don't give a shit about wrestling. A lot of them, they don't care about it like we did. So,
right.
part of it's because it's just kind of not really
Well, and the
that
thing
cool.
is
Not
I
cool.
think maybe they realized that, hey, like you said, those kids that were that age and they grew up and now they're like 20 and they're like, fuck, I don't watch wrestling. That shit was, I mean, it was kind of cool when I was younger, but like I was a kid. Like now I don't. That's what you always hear. But you don't hear that from a guy like, my dad or your dad. I know your dad still says he watches pretty religiously. My dad doesn't. He couldn't give a fuck. But I mean, like the last time he was watching religiously, WWE wise was, when Punk was doing all his great shit and all that kind of stuff. But like now it's like if you went up to my dad and asked him what happened on Raw, he'd be like, I don't watch that fucking shit. Are you kidding me? But that's the thing is you have those fans back then. I have friends that, or old neighbors and stuff like that were huge wrestling fans, back when I was a kid and we all watched and talked about it and all this shit. They don't watch anymore. So there's so much of that forgotten fan base that you could really draw back in. And you're not losing these kids. If the parents don't want their kids to watch, that's fine. But their parents are going to be staying up later and watching it when the kids are going to bed. That's the thing. So it's like, you can bring them in, the kids get older, they can watch, whatever the fuck, that's the parents' discretion. The same way that there's ratings in movies is the same way that there could be ratings in wrestling. You can stop people from watching it if you don't want to fucking watch it. And if they do, then God forbid it's not going to be the worst fucking thing that they see. Jesus Christ, they have access to the internet. Are you kidding me? So it's just, there's so much potential and there's so much hope that it could bring, that it could be some really good stuff like we used to see when we were kids, and I think it could bring a lot of that old fan base back in that laughs at wrestling nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to do nothing but create a better product. At least I believe so. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, will it make a difference? Who knows? But do we want it to make a difference? Absolutely. I want to care about watching pro wrestling again.
Right.
I'm tired of, I just don't want to waste my time sitting through, a Raw and then sitting through NXT and then sitting through Dynamite and then sitting through SmackDown. And then if I wanted to sit through Impact, because I want to watch all of these shows every week just to find one or two things that I really enjoy. It's like, no, I'll let it all happen and then I'll read about it online and then I'll go find it. I don't have the time and care to sit through all that stuff anymore because I'm just not entertained. I'm bored with it. It's boring. And it's just not good television. It's not good writing. So it's unfortunate. So maybe this will spark a little bit of something. We always have that kind of hope that there'll be something there. So we'll see. And obviously it's getting to that point, we're rounding about at the 3-year mark for AEW, and we've talked about the cracks in the foundation and things going on with them. And, they have become very formulaic and they know exactly what they want to do and who they are right now as a promotion. And they are at this point a super indie with just a guy that has a lot of money.
Right.
So it's unfortunate, but that's kind of what they've become. It doesn't mean that their shows suck or they're all bad, because they're not all bad, but there is definitely bad with them too. So it's just, you kind of got to cherry pick with that. So hopefully we see some good stuff coming down the pipe with that, and we'll keep you up to date when we hear more. So, but yeah, that's all we got for this, guys. Thanks for keeping up with us here, and let us know in the comments how you feel about WWE. We're all going TV-14 soon, so we're out of here.